So, welcome to our brand new lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. What we are trying to do in this lecture series is that we'll cover that day's entire news events, all the important current affairs in that particular day in this lecture in a very brief manner, in a very short form. As you guys all know, that current affairs are very important for your UPSC preparation or any civil services preparation for that matter. They are very important. And I'm sure if you guys are serious aspirants, then you are reading newspapers regularly or following current affairs from any source regularly. Now, the idea of this lecture series is that after you're done with your newspaper, sometimes it happens that you miss out some news items or you want to revise those news items. So, I've come up with this lecture series called Daily News in Shorts so that you can easily revise important news items from that day. All right. The main purpose of this lecture series is revision, because at times when you read the newspaper you're not able to remember everything. Plus, you don't know, if you're beginners to this preparation, if you're beginners to civil services, you don't know which news item is important, which topic is important, which topic is not important, right? So for you guys, to help you guys out, this lecture series is being released by us. Now, what you have to do is, I won't take much of your time, not more than 30 minutes per lecture. What you have to do is, if you're reading newspapers, read your newspapers, and afterwards, whenever this video comes, just watch this video so that important news items or important topics are covered or revised if you have read them already. Clear? So make this lecture series a part of your daily routine. This should be a part of your daily routine because revision of current affairs, solidification of current affairs is very important. At times, students complain that they read the newspapers, but they are not able to remember current affairs. Well, if you'll follow this lecture series, you'll be able to remember important current affairs as well. So make this your daily habit. It should be your daily habit. If you continue with this habit for almost 1 year, well, you'll be very, 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 very solidly placed as far as your exam is concerned. So continue with this habit for 1 year, follow daily news in shorts for 1 year, and your current affairs will be solidly prepared. Okay, so let's begin with this lecture. Well, what are today's topics? Today, there were 4 important topics, so we'll cover them one by one. First of all, Indian Meteorological Department has warned about warm night phenomena. We all have covered heat waves, severe heat waves, right? India, especially North India, is reeling under pressure because of heat waves and severe heat waves. Well, there is this another warming phenomena, heat-related phenomena called warm night phenomena. You need to be aware about that. So we'll cover this. Then, recently, Prime Minister inaugurated Nalanda University. Well, Nalanda University was an ancient university, one of the biggest universities in the world. It was there from 5th century to 13th century. Well, India has revitalized it, renewed it, and we have opened a Nalanda University in Bihar. So historically, it's very important. As far as your history topic is also concerned, this news item is important. Then recently, World Economic Forum released Global Gender Gap Index. Well, India's rank in this gender gap index was not that impressive. It was very poor. So we'll talk about this. And a controversial news item with respect to Global Initiative on Digital Health. Now, what's this controversy all about? We'll talk about that. So let's begin with our first topic. Yes, that is warm night phenomena. All right, let's begin. Now, why are we studying warm night phenomena? Basically, warm night phenomena, as the name suggests, means that nights are also warm. Generally, during summers, well, days are hot. Yes, and at times we face heat wave and all that stuff, right? Days are hot, but nights become pleasant. You remember from the old days, when people didn't have the luxury of air conditioners, what they used to do was they climbed their house's stairs, they used to sleep outside, right? Because nights were cooler as compared to the peltering heat of the day. But these days, even nights are quite warm. Delhi recorded its highest minimum temperature since 1969. Well, the maximum temperature of the day hits at 3 p.m. in the noon, right? And the minimum temperature hits around 3 a.m. in the morning, right? Generally, it happens. So, nights are generally cooler. Minimum temperature hits generally at nights. Well, Delhi recorded its highest minimum temperature. Maximum temperatures have been high. We are facing heat wave conditions. But Delhi recorded its minimum temperature, highest minimum temperature since 1969. It was 35.2 degrees Celsius, 8 degrees Celsius above normal. Now, highest minimum temperature up till now, after 1969, was in 1972. It was 34.9. 2024 has surpassed that. Minimum temperatures, night temperatures are also very high. Now, this month, that means June, has seen 6 consecutive warm nights. The city, that means Delhi and surrounding areas. Now, this phenomena, when night temperatures are abnormally high is known as warm night phenomena. Now, what is the exact definition of warm night phenomena? So, Indian Meteorological Department has given a proper definition of this phenomena, warm night phenomena. Now, what is the definition? Look, a particular night in a city is considered warm night when temperatures are above normal or greater than normal by 4.5 degrees Celsius to 6.4 degrees Celsius. So, if a particular night is warmer than usual, and by how much? 4.5 to 6.4 degrees Celsius, if it's warmer than normal, well, then that is considered warm night. Alright? But when temperatures are greater than normal by a magnitude of 6.4 degrees Celsius, well, that is considered a severe warm night. Now, recently, Delhi faced severe warm night because, as you can see in the first line, the temperature of 35.2 degrees Celsius was 8 degrees above normal. That is way above 6.4 degrees Celsius. So, Delhi faced severe warm night. Now, what are the reasons behind that? Well, the biggest reason behind this phenomena, this warm night phenomena that Delhi is facing and many urban centers are facing, is because of urban heat island effect. Several studies have cited urban heat island effect as one of the causes of increase in temperature in cities. Now, what do we mean by heat island effect or urban heat island? Look, urban areas are made up of concrete. All right? They're made up of concrete, they're made up of slabs, they're made up of cement, which get warm very quickly. And they lack green cover. They lack tree cover as compared to surrounding areas. The surrounding villages have green cover, the surrounding villages have tree cover, but urban areas do not have tree cover. Now, trees or green areas actually do not absorb that much heat from the sun, but concrete does, right? That is why generally urban areas, as you can see in this chart, urban areas are generally warmer than their surrounding green areas or villages or forests. This is known as urban heat island effect. Plus, as you guys all know, you must have experienced this also. If you are sitting in a room with an air conditioner, just go outside that room and stand behind that air conditioner. You'll feel the heat. Now, the entire urban area is on AC. So there are so many ACs that are on at one particular moment, especially during the afternoon. Now, these ACs also emit heat, which further contribute towards severe heat wave or heat wave like conditions, right? So urban heat island effect is when the urban areas which lack green cover show a temperature which is higher than their surrounding areas. Generally, that temperature is 2 degrees to 4 degrees higher than their surrounding areas. Now, that's a lot. 2 to 4 degrees is a lot. And that is what Delhi is facing. Big cities like Mumbai sometimes faces. Big cities like Kanpur, Lucknow, these cities face urban heat island effect. Now, what is the solution to this urban heat island effect? Well, increase green cover, parks, tree plantations in your areas. That's the whole issue. Right now, you're facing heat wave-like conditions. And along with heat wave, because heat wave is generally measured during the day, you're also facing warm night-like condition. So days are hot, nights are hot, people are going to suffer or they are going to get diseases because of heat strokes. So this is a big problem, increase green cover in urban areas. One more thing, there is one condition for a particular night to be classified as a warm night. That is, I told you the temperature should be 4.5 degrees Celsius to 6.4 degrees Celsius above normal. Well, there is one more condition. The condition is that temperatures during the day should have been greater than 40 degrees Celsius. If temperatures during the day are greater than 40 degrees Celsius and during the night they are above normal, 4.5 degrees Celsius above normal, well, then it is classified as a warm night. So remember these two conditions. Condition number one, 40 degrees Celsius and above during the day, above normal by magnitude of 4.5 to 6.4 degrees Celsius. All right? Okay. Now we are done with warm night phenomena. Now let's move quickly on to Nalanda University. Now Nalanda University, why is it important? Because the campus of Nalanda University was recently formally inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now this entire campus is spread across 455 acres. It is located in Rajgir, the city of Rajgir. The city is 100 kilometers away from Patna. And the ancient Nalanda University, this new Nalanda University is just 12 kilometers away from the ruins of ancient Nalanda Buddhist monastery. All right. Now, let's talk about the history of ancient Nalanda University, not the modern one, the ancient one. As you can see, these are the ruins of ancient Nalanda University. It was known as Nalanda Mahavihara, the great monastery. Viharas were Buddhist monasteries. Buddhist resting places. So the wandering monks, Buddhist monks used to wander around and they required places to rest. Well, viharas acted as those places to rest, and viharas were also Buddhist monasteries. So Nalanda monastery was a Mahavihar. That means it was a great monastery and it was a great school of learning also. It was a great university. In ancient times, it was known as Nalanda Mahavihar. The entire university, this ancient university, was active from 5th century AD to 13th century CE. It was witnessed by a Chinese traveler known as Huan Sang. So in 7th century, when Huan Sang, a Chinese Buddhist traveler, when he visited Nalanda, he described it as a very big university, one of the biggest in the world. It housed around 10,000 students, there were 2,000 teachers, and many servants. So it was a very big university. In fact, during its initial days, its VC, Vice Chancellor of sorts, was a Buddhist monk known as Silabhadra. During Silabhadra's time, Nalanda University not just taught Buddhist philosophy, it also taught Vedas, Hindu philosophy, logic, grammar, medicine, mathematics, and all that stuff. Now, Nalanda was actually destroyed during 1190s by a Turkic or Turco-Afghan military general. A Turco-Afghan military general known by the name of Bakhtiyar Khalji. He attacked and destroyed Nalanda. They say he burned the entire university, and this university had so many books that it burned for 3 months on the trot. 3 months. All right, there were so many books, and Bakhtiyar Khilji, a Turco-Afghan military general, destroyed it. It continued for a couple of hundred more years, or 100 more years, and then it was finished off. All right. Now, this university was revived recently. Now, who proposed the idea of Nalanda University's revival? Well, it was first and foremost former President APJ Abdul Kalam. He was the first to propose the revival of Nalanda University in 2006 when he was addressing Bihar Assembly, Legislative Assembly. In 2007, a proposal to re-establish Nalanda was endorsed at the East Asia Summit in Philippines. So East Asia Summit is Southeast Asian and East Asian countries. They regularly organize a summit called East Asia Summit. Most of these countries are Buddhist. So they have a special attachment to Nalanda because it was a Buddhist Mahavihara. So they also said or asked India to revive Nalanda University as in during ancient times it was a very big center of Buddhist learning. So these countries being Buddhist or some of them being Buddhist, they also endorsed the establishment or revival of Nalanda University. This was reiterated in East Asia Summit 2009. In total, 17 countries, most of them from East Asia, have helped set up this university. The first batch of this university was admitted in 2014, and recently the entire university has been inaugurated. All right. Now let's move forward to the third news item. That's about it regarding Nalanda University. That is Global Gender Gap Index. Now, you have to remember a few facts with respect to this news item. Just have to cram. Okay. Now, Global Gender Gap Report 2024 was recently released. Now, Global Gender Gap Index is released by World Economic Forum. All right. In this, out of 146 countries, India ranked 129. That's a shameful ranking, 18th from the bottom. In fact, India's rank was marginally lower than previous edition. All right. India ranked third lowest among South Asian economies, South Asian countries, which are generally considered very lowly developed. Right? India ranked third lowest among them also. India was worse than Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Bhutan. All right. And as far as the regions are concerned, well, South Asia, the entire region of South Asia, ranks seventh out of total 8 regions in the world. So among the regions, the ranking of South Asia is also second worst. The worst ranking is of Middle East and North Africa. So that means Middle East and North Africa and South Asia are biased towards their women, are in fact, they are not taking care of the inequality between men and women as far as their regions are concerned. So these areas are pretty conservative. That's what we generally gather from Global Gender Gap Index. Now, here's the thing. Who topped this index? Well, Iceland topped this index. It has topped this index for 14th consecutive year. For 14 years, Iceland has been at the top. The Nordic countries are also doing well. Who are the Nordic countries? Sweden, Finland, Norway. In fact, Iceland is also a Nordic country. So Sweden, Finland, and Norway have always remained in the top 5. Iceland has always topped. Now, about the index. So you see, what does this index is all about? Well, it judges a country on the basis of 4 criterias. All right. Now, what are those 4 criterias? Well, those 4 criterias are economic participation, political empowerment, how many seats are there for women in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Parliament, and all that stuff. Political empowerment. Next is health and survival, which includes reproductive health as well. And last is educational attainment. So, on the basis of these four criterias, countries are given a score, and on the basis of their score, they are given a rank. Now, India's rank was 129, which is pretty bad. All right. India should strive to become like one of the Nordic countries, Iceland, Sweden, Finland, Norway. Well, that's the situation. All right. That's about it. That's all you need to know. Please remember the fact, because these facts are important for prelims. Remember the four criterias and who releases this report. Always remember this report is released by World Economic Forum. All right. And now we switch on to our last topic, which is topic number 4, Global Initiative on Digital Health. Now, why this was in the news? Well, Global Initiative on Digital Health was released during India's G20 presidency in 2023. India was the president of G20. We remember the G20 summit, right? So during during India's G20 presidency, well, there was a meeting of all the health ministers from the G20 countries, and they realized that digital health is the next way forward. We need to enhance digital health in each of the country that represents or that is a part of G20. Right. So to promote digital health or to make countries expand their digital footprint in the health sector, well, they launched Global Initiative on Digital Health. During September 2023, well, G20 presidency was concluded, the G20 summit was concluded, and it released a document called New Delhi Declaration. Right? So under New Delhi Declaration, there were a lot of action points. One of the action point was that G20 is going to make a global initiative on digital health, GIDH, and GIDH will be managed by WHO. So a WHO managed GIDH will be created, and in that New Delhi Declaration, India promised that it will donate $10 million for global initiative on digital health. Right? Now, why was this in news? Why is this in news? Because G20 happened last year. Why are we discussing it right now? Because last year, India promised $10 million for global initiative on digital health. But recently, Department of Economic Affairs under Ministry of Finance has said that we cannot spend 10 million on this. So India has promised to spend 10 million on GIDH, but India's Finance Ministry is declining to contribute this amount. Now, this can become a very controversial issue, right? But that is the case. Let's see what happens now. All right, so that's about it. You just need to know what Global Initiative on Digital Health was. Was it part of New Delhi Declaration? What was India's promise? That's about it. All right, and with that, we conclude today's lecture. All right, I told you I won't take that much of your time. Just use this lecture series as a way to revise your current affairs for the day. If you haven't read the newspaper, well, then also this lecture series will help you out. If you have not read the newspaper, well, if you have read the newspaper, then also you should watch this lecture series so as to revise and remember these topics. If you haven't watched, well, your current affairs are going to get covered through this lecture series. So make this your daily habit. All right. From next time onwards, because today's lecture was the first lecture, I had to introduce this lecture series to you guys. So today was the introductory lecture, so a bit of introduction was required. From tomorrow onwards, not that much of introduction would be required, so the lectures would be short. I won't take that much of your time so that it becomes easier for you to inculcate this as your daily habit. Make this your daily habit. Watch this lecture regularly. All right. Thank you, everyone.